You ready to talk about some video game news? Because there are some stories floating around that I definitely want to cover. First off, we're going to talk about Retro Mania Wrestling getting a big addition to its library and roster, and I'm definitely very excited for this. Then we're going to talk about the Super Smash Bros. Direct that happened today, give you guys my reaction and my thoughts to it. Then we're going to take a look at a box of retro game treasure, and finally we're going to wrap things up with Nintendo striking some YouTubers down, and I really don't know how I feel about this. There are definitely two sides of this coin, and we definitely need to talk about it. So sit back, relax, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and let's talk about what's going on in the world of video game news. So first off, you might remember a couple months ago on the channel, I introduced you guys to a brand new wrestling game coming to the Nintendo Switch in spring of 2020 called Retro Mania Wrestling. Obviously, this game is heavily inspired by the classic WrestleFest arcade game, and it honestly just looks very awesome. It has a roster of different wrestlers from back in the day, such as the Road Warriors, Tommy Dreamer, and of course the Blue World Order featuring Stevie Richards. Oh my god, it's Stevie Richards! But yeah, I'm definitely really looking forward to this game, and since then we've gotten some subsequent updates on the game that we have covered on the channel. There's been some more roster updates, there's been new consoles added, the game will be coming to the Xbox One, and is now confirmed for the PS4 as well. So this will be a multi-platform release, and it's definitely a game that's shaping up to be something very, very cool. Well, last night we actually got introduced to a brand new roster addition to Retro Mania Wrestling, and I think this is a huge deal because the NWA is invading Retro Mania Wrestling. No, not that NWA, although rest in peace Eazy-E. I am talking about the National Wrestling Alliance, which is the longest running US wrestling promotion. Now this promotion was recently purchased by Billy Corgan, yes, Billy Corgan of Smashing Pumpkins fame, and has actually started doing a weekly television show that is on YouTube, and it's definitely very different than anything else you have seen recently. It has that sort of 70s, 80s style studio wrestling feel to it, but I dig it. It's definitely a throwback, but I think it's a very, very fun show. It's easy to get into, it's easy to digest, and you'll see some familiar names from time to time in this program as well. Well, last night during NWA Power, it was announced that the NWA will be involved with Retro Mania Wrestling, and I honestly think this is absolutely fascinating and absolutely fantastic. They showed off the set for NWA Power that will be available in Retro Mania Wrestling, and talked about 3 new roster additions. Nick Aldis, who you might remember as Magnus from TNA Wrestling, is the champion of the company, and he will be in the game. Colt Cabana, who is an independent icon, will be in the game, and Austin Idol, who is an older NWA wrestler, will also be in the game. Honestly, I think this is very cool. They will also have a story mode consisting of trying to get the NWA world title called 10 Pounds of Gold, and this just looks very, very awesome to me. I hope that they are able to include more NWA wrestlers. You might remember some guys like James Storm is in NWA right now. Eddie Kingston and Homicide are in there as well, and I'm big fans of those wrestlers, but very cool to see. I'm definitely glad that this game is growing into something bigger, and I honestly think it's going to be something special. But Retro Mania Wrestling, let's talk a little bit. I am a little bit disappointed that you guys didn't give me the exclusive on this. I get it. NWA is a little bit bigger than RGT, you know, that's cool, but can we get a collector's edition for this game? Can I get an NWA replica belt with this game? I don't care if you have to give me an empty box because it's a digital only game. You gotta do something cool. You gotta throw in a t-shirt and a belt with this. I know you guys are gonna watch this because I'm gonna send it to you guys, but yeah, definitely very cool stuff, definitely making me very excited for this game. Next up, we had our November Nintendo Direct, well, kind of, involving, of course, Terry and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. This was a 45-minute presentation. Many people were wondering what this 45 minutes was going to entail. Would there be some surprises? Would there be some new modes added to the game? I actually thought there would be, but no. Sakurai pretty much just sat there and pretty much just talked about his love for SNK and his love for Fatal Fury, Art of Fighting series like that in this 45-minute presentation. And honestly, I can respect that. You could tell that he was having an absolutely awesome time with this. Now, the big news coming out of this, of course, is that Terry is now available, and I will be purchasing Terry after I'm done editing this video. Well, maybe while I am editing this video. But yes, Terry is now available in Smash Brothers, and I think it looks absolutely awesome. His stage is really cool as well. You can see various characters from games like Fatal Fury and Art of Fighting in the background of his stage as well. And admittedly, I'm not the biggest SNK fighter fan in the world. I'm definitely more familiar with the Capcom series, but I definitely have played a lot of SNK fighters, and I definitely respect it. We did get some new Mii costumes, but unfortunately there was no Doomslayer or Geno stuff, but there was some cool stuff. There is an Akira and a Jackie costume from Virtua Fighter, and you guys know that I am definitely a big Virtua Fighter fan, so I was very happy to see these. I probably will be picking these up as well, honestly, because I love old school Virtua Fighter and they just look very awesome. But yeah, it was a pretty soft presentation overall. If you're not a fan of Terry or SNK or the lineage of it, you probably didn't get much enjoyment out of it. I honestly was planning on waking up and watching it live, but I just kind of overslept. So I watched a recap of it and I thought it was a good presentation. It really sort of introduced you into the world of SNK fighters and showed you why Sakurai is so passionate about this franchise. And of course, there were some updates to the game as well. There's a big new update out that does things like nerf certain characters, buff certain characters. There's all sorts of stuff you could get into there with the meta of the game. Obviously, if you're a competitive Smash player, you'll want to go over this information with a fine-tooth comb, but a solid presentation. I definitely was hoping for some more surprises, maybe some more game mode announcements as well. So I definitely think some people will be disappointed, but I thought it was cool overall. Can I get a Zevia sponsorship already? These things are freaking expensive. Next up, I want to show you guys some stuff that I bought recently so that, well, I can write it off on my taxes, and of course, open up a box of retro game treasure. First off, I bought Double Switch on the Nintendo Switch, because it's the Double Switch. Go to hell, Eddie. I don't even really like this game, but, you know, the FMV games kind of have their own appeal. I also bought Aladdin on the Sega Master System. I don't know why I bought this. Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night and just go on eBay and buy random crap, but yeah, I bought Aladdin on the Master System. It is complete. And it is kind of a decent game, so I mean that's kind of cool, I guess. And then we're going to take a look at a box of retro game treasure. What is retro game treasure? You basically sign up for their service, you tell them what games you want to collect for, you tell them what games you have and what systems you have, and they send you 3 to 5 games a month. Some people absolutely hate this monthly service. Some people like it. I think it's cool. It's a grab bag sort of service. They send me a box to check out every month. Last month's box honestly kind of sucked. Maybe this month's box will be better. So let's see what we got. Open up the box and stare into your soul. All right, first off, we have F-22 Interceptor on the Sega Genesis. It's a flying game. It is an EA game. I remember these old EA cartridges with the yellow tabs. Those are always neat. Okay. Ooh, okay. You know, a classic Crazy Taxi, the Sega All-Stars Edition on the Sega Dreamcast. This is complete in box, so, you know, Crazy Taxi's awesome. I honestly don't think I have this, which is kind of strange, but now I do. Crazy Taxi. You gotta love that game. Yeah, 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 yeah. Next up, we have... Whoa. Oh. Okay. Now I'm happy with this box. Holy shit. Capcom versus SNK on the Sega Dreamcast. This is a Japanese edition of the game, but I do have a way to play Japanese games on my Dreamcast. You might just be able to pop them right in. I don't think it's region locked, but even if it is, I have a way to play burned and backed up games. But yes, this is very cool and very appropriate since we have been talking about SNK, and I am a fan of Capcom versus SNK. I thought the GameCube version was amazing. So yes, now I'm very happy with this box. This is a good box. I don't even care what this last game is. But let's see what it is. Stare into your soul! Okay. 007 Agent Under Fire on the Nintendo GameCube. I don't think I've ever played this game before. I do wonder if it has progressive scan. I might check it out if it does. I do have the World Is Not Enough, I think it is, on the GameCube. I don't know. They used to release a lot of James Bond games back in the day, obviously trying to capitalize on the success of GoldenEye. So yeah, it is complete, so that's pretty cool. But honestly, none of that stuff really matters. We got Capcom versus SNK on the Dreamcast. It is the Japanese version, but I do not care. This is a great addition to my library, so definitely very stoked on this box of retro game treasure. Good job, guys. Last month sucked. This month is good. If you guys are interested in the service, you can sign up with the link in the description box down below. You save some money. I don't get any kickback or anything. Like I said, they do send me a box every month to check out, and this was a damn good box. And finally, yesterday on the channel, we talked about the Nintendo Ninjas swooping in and allegedly capturing the Pokemon Sword and Shield leaker. Now, the rumor has it this individual was actually a reviewer of this game that was leaking all this information online. They basically left a paper trail, and it was very easy for Nintendo and the Pokemon Company to find this individual. And these Nintendo Ninjas, they will show up at your house with a document of stuff that you have done and pretty much put you in some sort of legal action. So it seems like this individual may have been at the top of the food chain when it comes comes to how they got the game, obviously getting a review copy of the game, and honestly, it makes sense. Nintendo wants to protect their IPs, the Pokemon Company wants to protect their IPs, so they don't want things like this happening. That's how piracy of Switch games ends up becoming a thing, because it starts with just game leaks, and then these games end up on various websites, and people are downloading them. But there's actually been more fallout from this situation, and this is where I sort of have a problem with things. Yesterday, several YouTube channels that were covering these Pokemon Sword and Shield rumors were actually hit with copyright claims from Nintendo on their YouTube channels, and copyright claims are a very, very big deal. You get 3 of those, and your channel is completely gone. And honestly, I don't know how I feel about this. I get wanting to protect your games from leaks and spoilers, and there are people that are on YouTube that are very shitty with that. They will put leaks and spoilers in the title or in the thumbnail of the video, and sometimes you can't avoid these. If you've been watching Pokemon related videos, these may show up on your suggested videos, thus ruining the game experience for you or ruining a part of the game for you. But then there are people that actually respect how these leaks are done and just simply want to talk about them to give some insight and analysis into it. I know my buddy Austin John Plays did a lot of videos on the Pokemon Sword and Shield rumors and leaks, but he actually had to take those videos down in fear of being struck by Nintendo over this situation, and I don't think that that's necessarily right. I think once the leak gets out there, if you simply want to talk about it, then you should be able to talk about it. It's simply a discussion video. Now, if you're showing like video footage or something like that, okay, maybe you have some sort of a case, but if you're just simply talking about these leaks, I don't think it's worth getting a copyright strike over. Nintendo has done very well with their YouTube policies as of late, obviously removing restrictions of using things like game footage and of course trailers in their videos, but once again, this just seems a bit archaic to me, and it seems like a bit of a flex of power that you don't really need to do. If people want to be spoiled, I think they should have the right to be spoiled, especially if these spoilers are out in the open. What do you think about this? Do you think that Nintendo is abusing the copyright system of YouTube, or do you think they're in the right for doing this? Let me know in the comments down below. Alright, and that is going to do it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to give me your feedback in the comments section down below. And as always, guys, thanks for checking out this video. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. Be sure to check out other videos on the channel. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Later.